to me when you hear love breakup songs.
Hello, and welcome to the Super Business Women Show here on Intellectual Radio. It's your girl, CEO Lexi, with All Things Couture. And I am joined here with my lovely and beautiful co-host, Shar Unlocked. How are we feeling?
We are feeling amazing. Almost as amazing as
Are we going to get on me already?
Yes,
are we
look
going to start it?
beautiful.
Okay. All right. It's the self-love, guys. We're not going to do this again. We're not doing that. It's the self-love. Self-love is the
She
most
comes in
important love.
glowing. So listen, that needs to be acknowledged when you
Thank
look
you.
amazing.
You know, iron sharpens iron. I've been hanging out with some fantastic ladies lately.
I resemble that remark.
So we have a great show today. We have two phenomenal guests that I cannot wait for everyone to hear everything about. We have BJ Levy, the president of the Chicago Federation of Musicians Local 1028, joining us shortly. And we also will be joined by Ernest Leonard, founder of 3E's Video and Videography,
Video and editing.
and photography too.
Yes.
It was a mouthful. I should have wrote it down.
No, that's all of it. It's videos, editing, and of course photography
too. So it was a whole name, and I was like, this is great. So really excited about that. We also will be joined with our other co-host, the financial femme, Shavana M. Jackson. Miss Jackson, if you're taxi.
And we're missing out on Crystal, the savvy investor. She's in another state scouting properties. So she's being the savvy investor.
Hey, you know what? I'm not mad at it. I love the traveling and working at the same time. Yes, Crystal, secure the bag.
That part.
So yes, we definitely have a great show. My segment, the Couture Life, All Things Couture, is going to be completely dedicated to my interview today, which I will be bringing in shortly.
You're going to bring in him shortly?
Yeah.
I've seen him somewhere before. Does he do anything outside of being the president of the Federation for the Music?
He is a trumpet player.
Maybe that's why I've seen him. His face looked like resoundingly familiar.
You may have seen him on my social media too.
Oh,
He's the union president. I'm a member of the Chicago Federation of Musicians. So you may have seen him.
So it's like an interaction, like I've seen him.
Possibly.
Like,
or because he does play. I'm not sure. We're going to have to find out if he's still
I know
plays.
he didn't get arrested. That would be the only other.
We're gonna get to the bottom of it today. Where does Shar know BJ?
So the weirdest thing is, it'll be 2 days later, 4:00 in the morning. I'm, on my way to take a bathroom break, and I'll be like, aha, that's where I know him. My aha moments come really crazy. But yeah, not know him, but I've seen him like in
you
a
caught him speeding one time.
Yeah, could be, but that was many years ago. So that means that
we're gonna get to the bottom of it.
Right.
That's what we're going to do. No, but he definitely is the current president of the Chicago Federation of Musicians. And it's been a really honor to be a part of the union and learn so much and grow with them and integrate hip hop and R&B into the union. So that's been something that we've been working on for about a year and a half now. So.
I've learned so much with us being here and you sharing the gems and the knowledge with the music business. I mean, who would have thought that it's an entire business? You just take for granted. They get up there, they sing, they, entertain us, and, we like them and, follow them, but it's so much more to it.
Interesting enough, there's a lot of people that do take advantage of it and don't understand that it's a business. And those are the people that are actually taken advantage of in our industry. So I am grateful that we do have unions like the Chicago Federation of Musicians, our parent union, the American Federation of Musicians, that actually do protect the entertainers and the musicians and things like that.
I'm a union girl.
Yes, absolutely. Union strong.
Union strong. I'm all for unions. So my segment this week is dedicated to 3E's video and editing. I want to know all the ins and outs. Maybe they can drop some gems and share some, secrets with us about filters and all the other good stuff. Things that make our videos look better.
I know that our after show pictures better be on point because let me tell you, I've been struggling between the lighting and these ladies. No, I don't like this. Fix that. Put a logo over here.
Yeah.
And I get it. No, I get it.
We're bad.
I'm a graphic designer and I get it. When I deal with musicians and even now, with names and things like that. You have to have it right though, because you got to think, if I send you a flyer with your image and your name on it and something's wrong, it's a representation of your brand. So you're going to be like, hold on.
That's true, but we do ask for a lot. And you know me, I'll do 5 things at one time and then I'll ask you for 5 revisions. So my apologies. I'm grateful and love you much.
I'm used to it. I'm used to it. And I always want to make sure everyone looks the best in our photos and things like that as well. So I definitely take that into consideration. So we are going to get into a quick music break, and then we're going to come back with BJ Levy, the president of Chicago Federation of Musicians. I want to thank you for tuning into the Super Businesswoman Show. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to the Super Businesswoman Show here on Intellectual Radio. It's your girl CEO Lexi with All Things Couture, and I am joined here again with my lovely co-host Shar Unlocked, and the Financial Femme has stepped into the building.
Yes. What's up, great big world out there? How y'all doing? It's Shavonna, your girl, bringing all things financial to you. How are you?
You gonna stop taking my stuff? First off, she said it's your girl, All Things Financial. I hear her.
Yes.
But
you
You
learn
sitting here
from
with my union president. It's in my contract. For
you
people not to
learn
bite
from the
my stuff.
best. You learn from the best.
So remember
She gotta
last
watch
week when
it.
we were talking about comparison, right? Versus competing,
Fine,
right?
I get it.
I would never compete with CEO Lexi. I love her.
Now, we
No,
have a sisterhood.
competing is the good thing.
Right.
It was comparing that was the bad thing.
It is. It depends on how you look at it, but I'm not gonna do either.
Iron
because-
sharpens iron, so competition is good. It's good
It
to have
is.
competition
It
in
is.
every market. But let's not be rude and introduce my guest today. Our guest today, BJ Levy, president of the Chicago Federation of Musicians, Local 10208. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
How are you? I want to give you my demo before you leave.
All right.
I'll blow a note for you if you want to hear it.
Always.
Okay, me.
I'm gonna save you.
Did that sound right? I just
Welcome
hit
to
that note
the-
for you.
Listen, I'm gonna save you. Don't listen.
Okay.
Don't listen.
I just did the note. He
crazy.
said, "So you think you can sign me up? Did I do okay?"
We welcome everyone to the Musicians Union.
I need to start
What a
tomorrow.
politically correct statement. I love you already.
And see, I can be unpolitically correct with couture and say, no, thank you. You better have some talent.
It's gonna have to go
That
through
is
committee.
very good talent. Who do you know can say me, and like 5 different
No.
ups and downs?
Talent
Probably
is that
billions
song
of people.
that Lexi dropped.
Did you
Yeah,
guys
you
hear the
think of
song we
me.
just played?
It
You
didn't have any
barely heard
words.
it, right?
It didn't
But
have
you
any
heard it in the back.
words.
It didn't have any words, but that's actually BJ Levy's song from
Oh, wow.
2007.
That's right.
You want to give us some
Wow.
information on
A
that project?
throwback.
Oh yeah, well that record was it's probably one of the most rewarding or artistic things I ever did. But there was 3 composers that did that, and then I produced it and put the band together and recorded it. It was great.
I
Yeah.
like that one.
Thank you.
I heard quite a few, but I like that one. And then it's named February, and I was like, how fitting! Happy February!
Oh, happy
Yes, it is
February.
February 1st.
Yes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I hope we learn as much from you as we do from Lexi every week.
Well, I don't know if I can do that, but I'll try.
Look, I got some questions for you
Okay,
today, BJ.
all
So I
right.
hope you're prepared.
I am.
You don't got your thinking cap on. You left it out there.
Because he's ready. He just looks ready. Like when I walked, he was just like, hi. Like he's just ready for whatever you give him and whatever question you ask. I promise
Don't
you.
look over here.
I'm not
he's-
looking.
He's
he-
peeking at
I'm
my
not
notes.
He's gonna have an answer. Like whatever you ask him, he's gonna be ready.
That's my job.
All right, now let's go.
All right. So 17 years as a professional trumpet player. You played in regional orchestras during your Indiana Uni studies. You worked theater pits in the commercial music industry. Worked over 50 long-running productions. How did you become involved with the Musicians Union?
Well, I moved to Chicago in 1998, and my dad was a union president, actually. So I just knew when I came to Chicago, the thing to do was to join the Musicians Union because I wanted to be a part of that professional community. So that was really the first thing I did.
Well, that's
Yeah.
very simple there.
Yeah.
Okay, so 9 years on CFM's board of directors, 3 years as an admin of the Chicago Federation of Musicians and Employers Welfare Fund, 6 years as secretary treasurer. What else inspired you to take a leadership role within the union?
Oh, well, I mean, I love musicians. They're my favorite people. I mean, I've been around them my whole life. They're my friends. And when an opportunity came for me to be an officer, so when we become officers, we retire from professional playing. So it is a really big decision to make, but it was the right time for me. I had been working in theaters for the last 12 years before that, full time. And that life is also very difficult. And it takes all of your evenings and a lot of your mental and emotional energy to be a performing artist, as you know. So this takes a different kind of energy, but it's a 9-to-5 work and it's all advocacy work. So it's what I'm about.
That's beautiful. It's like bittersweet because you are giving up something, but you are giving so much more to the music community. So that's really great, BJ.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to a young musician just starting out and looking to get involved in the union?
Like me.
Oh, well, so all the performing arts are difficult. Any work that you do for a living is difficult. I just want to be clear about that. But I know the most about being a performing artist. And I always say performing artist because I want to be clear. You know, there's musicians, there's amateur musicians, there's professional musicians, but we define ourselves as performing artists because what we do is in front of people. It's being perfect for the most part. Say, you know, a great baseball player, if they hit the ball 1 out of 3 times, they're a Hall of Famer. But if you go to hear a musician and they hit 1 out of 3 right notes, that's not somebody you're ever going to pay to see again, and they're going to get a bad review. So, I'm just about representing that and making sure that the public knows what we do, how we have to prepare to be a performing artist, what it means to do 8 shows a week if you're working, say, a circus or a Broadway show, or to be able to play an orchestral concert, or to be a hip hop artist. And all of the preparation that goes into that, being a DJ, all of the different things that they learn to work in their profession.
A circus is something I wouldn't even think about, but they have music there.
They
So
sure
I have
do.
a quick question.
Yeah.
It's BJ, right?
That's right.
Okay. My son's named BJ, so I want
Oh.
to get that. Do you play at all? So you retire entirely when you take on the administrative role? You don't play like any gigs or anything?
No, I'm not allowed by our bylaws to do any kind of performance on stage. I quit playing trumpet. Trumpet's a very difficult instrument to just play once in a while, but I do play bass for fun at home. So I still have some connection to an instrument.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That takes an enormous discipline when you have a love and a passion for an instrument.
It was great. Being a trumpet player is super unique because it's such a muscular thing. But at the highest level, it's all the same. No matter what you're doing, it's every day this input you have to do into your job. Of course, you guys know that.
Absolutely.
So for me, it was a natural thing to leave trumpet and to go into
Oh,
union
okay.
representation. Yeah,
Here I am feeling bad. Like, oh my God, he had to leave
most
his
people
passion.
do, and I just let them. But for me, it was right.
Well, thank you for not letting me feel that way.
So
We're
I
not
have a
going to
question.
forget that he also played the bugle in the flugelhorn.
Yeah, bugle was my first. I got paid first instrument I got paid for. I worked for the VFW and I played all the funerals, which is a very somber and I was the thing I'm glad to have done.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Out of all the instruments, why trumpet? Like,
Oh.
were you just sitting there one day saying, "Look,
Mm.
I don't like the guitar. I don't like the drums. The tambourines is too much. I'm gonna go with trumpet. I'm a trumpet guy." What made you just go for the trumpet? Like,
So my brothers were both drummers, and they got in trouble with the band director all the time. And so I decided, well, I'm not going to be a drummer. And then I would go to band practice because I grew up just around it. My parents were heavily involved in being band parents and all that stuff. And I would saw the trumpets come forward on the field, and they were all turning red and playing loud, and it sounded cool. And so that was one thing. And then the other thing was Gonzo on the Muppet Show.
oh, I love the Muppets.
Right. So Gonzo was a trumpet player. So that was the other thing.
So it wasn't like a musician that played the trumpet that inspired you. It was more so the Muppets.
Well, there was Doc Severinsen and Dizzy Gillespie when I was a kid. So those two people were really famous on television personalities. So that was part of it too.
okay. Okay.
So, what partnerships and collaborations is the union exploring or developing to support its members and advance its goals?
Partnerships. Well, for me, that's one of the main. One of my main goals as president is to build allyships with all kinds of people. One being politicians, because they can help us. We recently got a tax credit passed at the Illinois state level that's going to help attract soundtrack and film and television soundtrack production here to Chicago. So that's one thing. Allyship with other unions, because when a damage to one of us is a damage to all of us, and Illinois is an extraordinarily great state for unionism. So we have our great Chicago Federation of Labor, which I know you're familiar with, and our state AFL-CIO. And these organizations just give us power. So we work within all of those organizations. We work with the large unions in town, the Teamsters, the bricklayers, the painters and allied trades, all of these other major unions. And that helps us as well. And then we build allyships within our profession. Not the least being which has been your group who came in to help organize the hip hop and DJ musicians here in Chicago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how does the union support its members in terms of professional development, education, and training?
Well, we send them to organizing camps. Again, Lexi is a veteran of the CFL Organizing Institute, and we're very proud to have sent her there to represent us. All of our officers attend training consistently in the same manner of things. I attended that same class that you did. And yeah, we were always attending conferences like benefit plans and healthcare plans, pension plans. We're learning these things. We're learning about how to work investments in our benefit, things like that.
Okay, that's great. So, how do you balance the needs and interests of the union's diverse membership, and what strategies do you use to build consensus and drive decision making?
Say that 5 times.
Yeah. Well, our union in particular has an extraordinary history of racial diversity. One, also racial conflict, and I want to be very honest about that. Our call numbers, Local 10-208, is the result of racism. There was Local 10 and Local 208. 208 was the Black Musicians Union, and Local 10 was the White Musicians Union. I want to say this also, because when I hear the term diversity, now more than ever, it's a cue to me to work harder. I think the current attack on the concept of diversity, equity, and inclusion is overtly racist, and it's not a dog whistle anymore. It's right out front. And what it has meant to me is that those words have made me work harder. Not only has it been a benefit to many underrepresented groups that we embraced it, it's been a benefit to me personally as a white cisgender male to work harder, to open my mind, and the people that it's brought into my life has been I just can't tell you what a benefit it has been to me to embrace that as a person.
And you know, I was going to get into that. So that was my next area. I was leading into it. So how do you think the union's history of segregation has impacted its relationship with the musicians of color today?
We have a debt to pay. So that segregation that happened initially, and I'll say this about Local 208, it was the first and the largest of the African-American locals. Our history of music in Chicago is completely tied in with Black history specifically, and a lot of other ethnicities as well have big populations here. But gospel music was born here in Chicago. Blues music, it wasn't born here, but it grew up here. Jazz music came up from the South, went to Kansas City, ended up in Chicago. And because of early radio and the large broadcasting stations that we had here, like WGN, musicians came up from the South so that their music could be broadcast back to the South. They were such strong stations. So the musicians came here. There was a great migration. And of course, the separation, it's an interesting part of the story is because, in the late 60s, the AFM actually mandated that all of the segregated locals be unified. But there was a difference of opinion within the Black local between the older musicians and the younger musicians. The older musicians wanted to keep their union. They preferred it because they were able to advocate for their own needs. They had it's a mix, but they owned property. They owned a apartment room, and they owned their own offices, and they had self-control. And then there were young musicians who wanted equality, who wanted integration, and wanted the same things that the Local 10 musicians had. So there was a schism between them. Ultimately, they did merge. It was a choice that they made to merge. There were some unions that chose not to and had to be forcefully merged. But the result of that merger, when I started studying it, I wanted to portray it as a big civil rights victory, but we can't do that because that merger was historically, in my opinion, it was another instance of white takeover of Black wealth. The Black the assets of the Local 208 were sold, and they were rolled into the coffers of Local 10, and they were promised more representation than they ended up getting, within Local 10.
So going into that, what steps has the union taken to address these historical issues and promote greater diversity and inclusion?
Well, I have the honor of being in on that. So before me, I'm not. Our union has always been an advocate of equality and equal treatment, but I've been studying this history, and when I became president, it became one of my priorities to start to address this. And so I can't say that the hip hop and DJ organizing campaign was my idea because it was your idea. It was you and Nino and Tay and the group that came in to tell us what the problem was. So you brought to me an issue that we have been able to act upon, and that also, again, it creates a desire for action on my part. Because I don't know, I have ideas, but until people come to me and tell me what's hurting them, I don't know. So you all coming to us allows Local 10208 to embrace this work.
That's true. So over the past year and a half, the union has expanded its membership to include hip hop artists. What benefits do you see this decision bringing to both the union and the hip hop community?
Oh, well, the benefit to the union is amazing because before I met your group, I had no idea about the entrepreneurial spirit and the ability to brand yourselves, the ability to work social media to your benefit, the ability to manage businesses, multiple businesses in many cases, and just an extraordinary self-motivation to better your lives and your family's lives. And also not only that, but the nonprofit organizations that many of you either run or parts of, the giving back to the community, that is such a unbelievably strong part of what you're doing. That was to me maybe the most surprising thing. It was all surprises because many of our members are, they studied trumpet in school, they got a master's degree, they became an orchestral musician or something, but they don't know anything about branding. They don't know anything about real business practices because, they've been either fortunate to not have to engage with that, or they never thought to and could do much better. So I think the information that you all bring to us is good for our entire membership. There was a second part of that question. I don't remember.
It was how would it benefit the union and the hip hop
Oh,
community?
well, the hip hop community itself. So we didn't understand. So I want musicians to always be paid. When performing artists go on stage, they deserve to make a living wage, not only a living wage, but a thriving wage for their art. So we had no idea that many hip hop musicians in particular are having to pay a promoter for their time on stage. So not only do they not make any money, they're having to pay someone $250 for 15 minutes on stage. This is ridiculous. It is backwards. So that's the benefit we can bring to them. It's long-term because it's not easy. You know, we have to find venue owners that want to pay properly. We have to find large venues, something like the Ramova Theater, which is owned by Chance the Rapper and Jennifer Hudson. We would like to work with them down the road, but we're working to have small successes and then bigger successes, and then we can take them into the larger realm. So we can use the power and the history of our organization to represent these underrepresented individuals.
Love to hear it. BJ, how does the union plan to address the unique needs and concerns of hip hop artists within the union, such as issues related to lack of artist development and even legal matters like sampling and copyrights?
Right. Well, sampling is another interesting part of things. So we're trying to, in some ways, we have to reinvent what the union is doing to represent the live performance aspect of things. Because it is new to us. But where recorded music is involved, we don't have to reinvent that. We've been protecting recorded music for 80 years. We know the ins and the outs of it. Sampled work, we have rules around that. The way DJs work is very interesting because, you know, if a live set is recorded, if it's on Facebook or if it's on YouTube, generally that's great. If it's unlicensed usage, here's what I'm saying about DJs that is very interesting to me is that we represent the people on the records, and we want to represent the people spinning those records. So that's something that has been interesting for me to discuss with DJs in particular, because they haven't thought about the rights sometimes of the musicians on the records that they're spinning. And many people haven't thought about their rights and the things that they're doing as performers.
That is long overdue with DJs. Absolutely. Yeah. How do you think the union's expansion into hip hop will impact the broader music industry in the way that hip hop is perceived and valued?
Well, we're the center of this in Chicago, so no other local of the AFM is doing this. And one of the points that your group brought to me that was most impactful was that hip hop artists can get their start in Chicago, but when it comes time to make it, they go to New York or LA to do that. And that bothers me because we have, again, the history of music. I left out house music here in Chicago. That's a Chicago invention.
Definitely.
And hip hop itself, you know, people say it was born in New York 50 years ago, but it was born in Chicago 50 years. It's not, it was concurrent. And we have the history to prove it. We have the people that we're familiar with, that were part of that history. So what we're doing here, the nation is looking at, but also the world is looking at. It's just about representation and fairness. And it's about being able to make a wage and to turn your artistic product into money that can feed your family and that can fund your retirement and that can pay for health care. Artists aren't special in that way. We're special in a lot of ways because I love us, but we're not special in that way. We got bills.
That's true. Now, BJ, how do you see the union evolving in the next 5 to 10 years? And what role do you think technology will play in the shaping of the music industry and the union's response to it?
Well, I see us growing. I mean, we're at 2,000 members now. Before I leave office, I would like to be at 2,500 or 3,000. There's not just 2,000 musicians in Chicago. There's probably 10, 15, 20,000 musicians that are making a living doing it. But we only have 2,000 as members. So I want to grow us that way. Where technology is concerned, this is something that's a really great question because it matters. So AI is beneficial. We hope that it's beneficial to the world. But why did it come for art first? You know, why isn't it doing our dishes? You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I would really love for someone to do our dishes.
And do the art and make the music and the AI do the hard work. Yes, absolutely.
So that's a big deal for us because we don't want to be replaced. And in fact, we can't be replaced. But since synthesizer technology is such that within 5 to 10 years, an orchestral movie soundtrack may be able to be played in. They can't do it now. You can't mimic the sound of instruments because we're so dynamic and we're so good at what we do. But at some point, they're going to program that in, or AI will figure out how to make it sound authentic. I don't, even if that does happen, I want corporations to be held accountable and that to know that if you're going to have art in the future, you have to have artists.
Well, it sounds like
Yeah.
you need some
Big
you're
facts.
talking to some lobbyists,
Oh, yes.
representatives.
Well, we're doing that. So
Good
we have
stuff.
Mercury Public Strategy as our lobbying firm, and they were instrumental in helping us get this tax credit passed. And then we're looking at what we're going to do next year as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, BJ, what message would you like to convey to the broader music community about the value and importance of the Musicians Union?
It's just that we are here, that we exist, that being a musician is not. I love amateur musicians. We couldn't do it without them. I have the great benefit of being the president of the Musicians Union, because when I go and talk to someone and I shake their hand, I have something in common with them almost all the time. Either they were a musician in high school, or they want to be a musician, or they're an amateur guitar player, or their kids are musicians, or their dad or mom or their grandparents. Everybody. It's not the same with actors. It's not the same with trash collectors, who also have very difficult jobs. It's not the same with any other form of labor. We have this in common with them. So I want us to grow, and I want the world. My main job is to make the world know that our profession is just that. It's a profession. It's such hard work to be a musician. It takes such dedication to be a performing artist. And people don't know that. And it's not always their fault. They just didn't think hard enough, or because streaming music became such an easy thing for them to consume. When you had to buy records still, there was this intimate relationship of you and the band, or you and the performing artist. Like, you had to buy it, you had to give something for it, and you listened to it. Now you put on streaming and it just comes to you. So you think, oh, I'm hearing Beyonce. Well, yeah, you're hearing Beyonce, but there's like 20 or 30 musicians on that record, and that's the work that you're hearing. Is she sounds great over it, but it's those instrumentalists and the producers and everything behind that creates that art form. That's my job.
And we used to have to wait months for releases,
Right.
and stand in lines to purchase
The
music.
anticipation to the
Yes.
wait was,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Bring that back.
that part.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful. That was
It's almost like an aphrodisiac.
yes.
Yep.
To the record store, absolutely. Well, BJ, I definitely want to thank you for joining us today and for all the information and gems you have provided to our listeners. Where can our listeners learn more about the Musicians Union and get in contact with you for more information on joining?
Well, you can look us up on the internet. We're at cfm10208.com. That's our website, and you can call our office anytime. And we're here to talk. I mean, I learn more from people calling in, just curious about the union. Every day I learn things from people and what their needs are and their unique needs. I need to know what people are suffering, basically, so that I can decide whether that's something the union can address. Not everything we're not going to be able to address, but many things we're able to, and it's that collaborative effort. We're a union. It's all about collaboration, solidarity, and spreading our message.
Is there any upcoming events or anything that you want to promote out to our listeners?
Well, any kind of music you see downtown Chicago, go see a show. And it doesn't, listen, I want you to see union orchestras when you can, but go out and support live music, professional music also. So there's a difference between being live and difference between being professional. Go and see professional musicians. Understand that what they do on stage, no matter where they are, is difficult. Make sure you're buying those tickets. Make sure you're supporting them. Make sure you're going to their websites, buying music directly from them, buying products directly from them if you can. It's not easy to do what we do, and in order to continue to have great music and great art made in this world, we must support the artists.
And speaking of, I seen that you had some Chicago Federation of Musicians shirts on the website now.
That's right.
So we're excited to support that new merchandise.
Yeah.
And I did also want to ask you about one more thing before I let you go. Music in the schools. Can you give us a little information on that?
Yeah, so Music in the Schools is available to our members. If you join, we pay half of the cost of school and library concerts. So that's our internal program. It's really great because, a school can give $300 and get a $600 show, or we also have the Music Performance Trust Fund, which is another thing that your group has taken advantage of. That's a national fund that we did $260,000 worth of funding of performances last year alone. So it's a really great benefit to our members, and it also makes sure that we're getting professional music in front of the world.
Fantastic, BJ. Again, thank you so much for joining us today and for all this information. And to our listeners, again, that is www.cfm10208.com. We're going to take a quick music break and we'll be right back on the Super Business Women Show here on Intellectual Radio. Hello and welcome back to the Super Business Women Show here on Intellectual Radio. It's your girl CEO Lexi, all things couture, and I'm gonna pass this on over to my lovely co-host Shar Unlocked. She's got some amazing guests in the building today.
Hi there, it's Shar Unlocked. We have 3E's Video and Editing in the building. You guys want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Earnest Leonard, founder of 3E's Video and Editing Service and Photography too.
So there's 3E's Video Editing and Photography. That's what you were trying to say, right? Two.
I had to get the whole thing in there.
You didn't get the whole thing.
And I'm Melvina Adams, and I also work in the same company.
So guys, welcome to the show. 3E's Video Editing and Photography have been in business for the last 14 years.
Mhm.
It's a family-owned business. And we have a few questions for you. Are you guys ready for your questions?
We're going to
Yeah.
try to be.
They're tense like I'm about to ask some really bad questions. I'm not. What inspired you to start 3E's video editing services, and how has your vision for the company evolved over the past 10 years?
Well, primarily, I want to leave a legacy to my kids. And what were you saying earlier?
Yeah, the main reason was he had several jobs, and he just always knew that he didn't want to be told what to do.
Well, I could see that.
Isn't that all entrepreneurs?
Right,
Yes.
right.
Entrepreneurial spirit.
The defiance.
Or
Yes.
to be a slave to some of those odd whims they have sometimes.
Well, owning a business, you can kind of understand where they get their rules and regulations from, though, right?
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
Sometimes it's a personal thing.
Yeah, it could be. It's their
Mhm.
company, so it could be.
Yes.
What does the name 3E's represent, and how does it reflect your company's mission?
It's named after me and my 2 sons.
Okay, so family.
That doesn't sit well with me.
Well,
She wanted
the
3
elegant
Three
Melvina
E's and-
Adams, right? So you can throw an E in there.
Yeah, we should have added an M too.
3
right?
E's and M.
3 E's in there.
3 E's and an M.
Or she can add eloquent, exquisite to the front of her name, and then that makes her an E too,
Oh, okay.
right?
Mhm.
Let's see. As a Black family-owned business, what unique challenges and opportunities have you experienced?
Well, one I know is a lot of times when when people call us, hate to say this, but because we are a Black-owned business, they don't expect professionalism. They don't expect, like, for instance, for you to show up on time. So we make it a point. We always show up early because we want to have plenty of time to get set up and, run the scan of everything that we have to deal with. So that was one of the things I noticed.
I've hired you guys before, and I said be there at 4, and they were there at 2:30.
Mhm.
And of course, that doesn't work for me because I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Party doesn't start until 4:00.
It works for us because we have to get prepared.
It was amazing. They were in place. They got pre-party photos.
Mhm.
They were able to like video the setup as far as the whole put together. So when they put and I got a CD at the end with like a video collaboration with everything. It was absolutely wonderful. Another thing that they did is that they coordinated the uniform with the theme of my party. So that I didn't, when I was asked, I didn't think anything of it, but they showed up with the theme of the party.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we do a lot of weddings, and whatever their wedding colors are, that's what color our uniforms are.
So we blend in.
And it's always 3 of us, because I tell everybody when they come for price quotes, make sure it's 3-man cameras. I said, because you can't do a wedding effectively with 1 camera. It's impossible.
Especially if they have a lot of guests, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most valuable lesson you've learned from running a business for over a decade?
Primarily, we have discount prices, but some of our clientele just want us to go too low. And as you know, that's why it's hard for Black businesses to maintain or to stay in business. Because I'm saying, we have basic bills and obligations we have to meet too. And some of these clients just don't understand that.
I think all of Black business, I've heard that repeatedly.
Yes.
That's the echoed sentiment from all Black businesses.
Mm-hmm.
They want a discount because, we're family. Hey, fam. Hey, sis. Hey, brother. But they don't understand the economics behind it. You have payroll, you have lights, you have gas, you're paying for ink, you're paying for, for time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand that you need to charge a certain price in order to thrive.
Yes.
And it's mind-boggling that we don't go into Macy's and haggle. We don't go into McDonald's and haggle. We take advantage of their sales. We clip their coupons, but we respect and their boundaries with prices.
Right.
We need to do better, amongst ourselves in the community.
Absolutely.
And even for us, you were saying, comparing it to Macy's and such. Also, we compare it to the fact that when they have a wedding and they go into a banquet hall, no discount.
Oh no, it's the price is the price.
And food, no discount.
Price is the price.
So why photography? Why when you order people to do photography for you, there has to be a discount.
I agree.
And I always tell people, don't hire us, please, because we black. Hire us because we're good. We know what we're doing.
And professional.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell everyone that I recommend, you guys are extremely professional. Another thing that I was taken back, I received my video and my photos like a day later. I was waiting. You know how sometimes it lags?
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting, and he's calling me. Ernest is calling me saying, hey, come get your CD. I'm thinking, that thing's ready already? So
yeah, we be behind the scenes. I may call my son, hey, do you have a job ready? He said, not quite. I said, I remember, we don't run a typical black business here. Let's get it ready.
what advice would you give to other families looking to start a business together?
I think one thing is learn to support each other. One person doesn't have to stand out in front. We can all, work together to create something, fantastic.
Right, because what make me look like a genius is my son, the next generation behind us, and my granddaughter. She's following in our footsteps and don't even know it yet.
Oh, she's doing contributions that she's not aware. That's how you have to get them, I think, in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ask them for their advice,
Mm-hmm.
will them in, and then they're running the show before they know it, right?
So they keep us abreast of all the latest technology.
Yes.
Okay. How has your company contributed to your community, and why is that important to you?
Because a lot of businesses, with the typical prices, it's unreachable, like advertising, and we have, we fit into a lot of the community businesses' budgets.
Okay.
Right. Because I noticed when my daughter was getting married, we went to wedding fairs where they would have, photographers there. They would have the people who sold the bridal gowns there. They would have everything you needed for a wedding in one location. And every photographer I went to wanted quite a bit. And we realized, okay, there has to be a market out there that they also want to have really nice photography and a videography, and we make it affordable for them so that, we reach out to a different market.
That's definitely needed in our community.
And the reason why a lot of businesses fail early, because they fail to take out basic advertising budgets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone needs an advertising budget. You and I had that conversation. You said that to me.
Yeah, we have a billboard now on 119th
and Vincent's right by the Metro train stop.
I get
People
phone
get off
calls
the
about
train,
it.
everybody can see it.
I get phone calls about it. So that's where I knew where it was.
Yeah.
I get off the train and turn the corner, and there's the billboard.
And we also make TV commercials for WCIU Channel 26. It amazed me one day. I called there because I was going to run a television commercial. And they said, well, we can give you a discount and maybe around $3,000. I said, wait a minute. I said, that's what my commercial is about. We make TV commercials too. I said, where's your minority department in here?
So you're looking for a discount.
So they said, well, you need insurance, you need EIA numbers. I said, I got all that. They said, oh, hold on.
What are the key services you provide, and how do you differentiate your business from competitors in the photography and video industry?
You want to start first?
Yes, our turnaround, our coordination with our uniforms.
Explain more about the turnaround.
Yeah, let's delve into the turnaround. What do you mean by that? Because our viewers are not going to know.
Let's say like a wedding. If we come out and shoot your wedding, in most cases, we'll have that wedding done for you, complete with pictures and everything, and anywhere between 4 and 5 weeks, if not sooner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unheard of, I'm saying, in this industry.
4 to 5 weeks.
Absolutely.
So you can know I haven't been married in a long time. I'm like, that seems like a long time to me.
No.
What's the typical turnaround
The
time?
typical turnaround. And like I told you, I used to visit those fairs.
Yeah.
The typical turnaround is a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
6 months.
You may not even be together.
Right.
Your photos, you're not even married to this
we've
person
seen
anymore.
that happen, but they got their stuff before they got divorced.
Oh my. All right. There's a second part to that question.
Mhm.
What differentiate your business from competitors in the photography and video industry?
Mhm.
Photography too.
I would have to say I experienced starting with me on down to my granddaughter.
What type of experience do you have?
With the cameras, the actual photography, the editing, the creative editing, I might add.
Mhm.
What's creative editing?
Uh,
Lexi shaking. My co-host is shaking her head. She's into that
Well,
stuff.
with a lot of special effects. You know what I'm saying? In other words, keep people's interest and wanting to look at it. You know what I'm saying? They won't get bored with it.
So how do you stay relevant and competitive with these phones? Do you know the videos that
we
everyone?
have the model. You know, we have the model.
That's what I was getting into.
Yeah. We can do, what is it exactly? We do more than
Yeah. I'm saying we do what camera phones and
can't
tablets
do.
can't do.
So what's that?
You ever seen the phone angles? You ever seen
Yeah,
telephone
yeah,
angles?
I've seen them. We fight about it every week with these phones. Yes.
Have you seen a video edited from a phone?
Sometimes it's pretty dope. I think I do a
Uh-huh.
good job.
Yeah, one time we was doing a wedding. I was camera 3, and the lady tapped me on the back of my leg, and she said, "Hey, sir, you're in my way." I turned around and showed her the name on my uniform. I said, "I'm camera 3, ma'am." She had a cell phone camera. What are you finna do with that footage?
Put it on social media, make it look a hot mess.
Exactly. They're gonna put it on social media. And
But-
then if we don't get that shot, we got a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
But see, the advantage in having multi cameras is you catch all the angles. You
So
know,
do you just have cameras or is there someone you're taking photos to?
we do both.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So
Our cameras have that capability.
so I've heard, so when I got married many blue moons ago,
But not as many as mine.
I had a videographer and a photographer. So you
Yes.
guys do it both.
Yes.
Okay. So I hired 2 different people to do the 2 different things, but
Right.
you guys have managed to combine it.
And I would
Yes.
also like to add, there's nobody out here that could beat us doing weddings from beginning to the end product.
Oh, well then I need to
Give 'em
find a
my-
husband.
Give,
Hey
give-
guys,
give,
I'm
give them
looking.
our website.
I'm looking just so I can get the video and editing.
Yeah. Because we have a set formula. Like he said, he's camera 3. I'm camera. What am I? Camera 1.
No. I'm saying she's camera 3 most of the
Normally,
time.
that's what I thought.
My son is camera 1. I'm camera 2.
Yeah.
I pick up on the bride. My son's camera picks up on the groom, and she picks up overall.
Hmm.
And in the editing process, we blend all that
Blend
together.
all
We
that
call
together.
it getting the TV ready.
Yes.
Dynamic.
Hmm.
What are your future goals you have for Three's video editing service, and where do you see the company in the next 5-10 years?
Watching my son and the grandkids, keeping it going.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Because I can tell, I'm getting a little older now. Sometimes I walk to some of these locations and I see steps with that camera equipment. Oh Lord.
well, I don't consider myself old. And when I get to locations and I'm dressed up, I'm like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't think that's like an age thing. I think it's like an over 40 thing. I get
Mhm.
there and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be.
Yeah.
Listen, I take a deep breath when I have to come in here every day. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Shard, that's the red bottoms.
That's
Come
the
on.
red bottoms. Yeah,
Of
that's
course,
the red
yeah, it
bottoms.
slows you down. But I don't have on red bottoms, and it slowed me down today coming up here.
Stairs are a good thing. That's what I tell myself when I'm at the bottom. This is a good thing. This is a workout. This is going to, help the fries that I digested yesterday. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, may I add you? I'm saying you guys have a very nice looking professional studio here.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to give all props to Intellectual Radio.
All right now.
Okay. Mhm.
So if anyone's so how's your schedule? Are you all booked up for the wedding season?
Not quite. As you know, we serve a certain constituency, and a lot of our stuff is last minute.
Right.
But we're ready. We like the fire department.
Yeah.
We be ready when the
Yeah,
phone
if
rings.
we get like maybe 3 a year ahead, we're happy with that because we know that when the season starts, we're going to get a lot more.
Yeah, but
Sometimes
our first wedding is May 24th.
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm that constituent that sometimes last minute when I'm calling or texting asking for a date. So
Mhm.
most times you guys are already booked when I do that.
Yep. It's a chance you take.
Yeah, it's a chance I take, but I'm a last minute. You know, I have 50 things going on in my head, and I really mean to call like 3 weeks ago, but something else took precedence in my head.
But it's just like proms. Last year we did 29 proms.
Oh, wow.
As you know, most proms are basically the same day.
Right.
So what we do is about 4 of us. Then we was hiring other photographers to catch some of the overflow for us.
Okay, so we do part-time.
Mhm.
You do part-time. You do part-time. Hire us.
Are you a photographer?
No, we just
I was wondering. I'm like, did she just offer me more work?
Oh, but you have to see the prom package. We don't just do the pictures. We do the video highlights with the special effects. And that's probably why we get so many calls and referrals for proms.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
prom season is what, like 2 months maybe, and you've got to get try to fit everybody in.
So you guys should enjoy the time right now because you have prom, graduation, and then weddings for the spring.
Mhm. Yes, yes. But we used to think that the winter time was a slow time, but a lot of people get parties during the winter. Get a lot of parties.
yeah.
And then we do a lot of work for the funeral homes. You know, we do a lot of the slideshows. And as you know, those are very last minute in most cases.
Oh, yes, because you have no way
No
to
time
plan
to-
that.
No time to turn around here.
Yeah, there's no planning that. That just happens.
Yeah, they may
Yes.
call me at on a Friday at 7:00 at night. Well, when is the service? Saturday at 11. We get those type of referrals. Say, I don't know nobody in the city that can get that done. If anybody can get that done, it's 3E's Video. Give them a call. They may be able to help you. They're the only one in the city with this time course that can help you.
Oh, my. So if you guys are looking for dynamic, professional, economical videos, photography, editing, I suggest commercials for your business. I
Mhm.
suggest you call 3E's Video and Editing Service, 312-623-9587. They also are professional. They have a website, 3E's Videos Editing.com. They've been in business for over 14 years. They're now a household name. Everybody knows them. Give them a call. Again, it's 312-623-9587. They are on all social media platforms, Facebook. You guys have a YouTube account too.
Yeah.
So they have a YouTube. You can go see some of their work. You can go to YouTube and see some of their work.
Just type in 3E's Video and Editing Service on any social media outlet out there. We will pop up.
Thank you for being here this Saturday. We will continue to utilize your services, and we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to the For Business Women Show here on Intellectual Radio. It's your girl CEO Lexi with All Things Couture, and we just wrapped up 2 amazing interviews with BJ Levy and 3E's video
And editing
service
and
and
service.
photography too. Now we're going to get into Shar's favorite segment and talk some finance
Oh,
with the
Lord.
financial femme. Shavonna M. Jackson is in the building.
We know that this is Shar's favorite segment. So
I promise to take it easier on her this week than I normally do, but we shall see how things go.
How are we doing in this tax season, Shavonna?
you know, this tax season is very, very interesting to me, to say the least. And I think that I'm more so concerned about my people as a whole with not having an understanding of where to use urgency at, when it's important, when is it not important, when do you sit down and say, this is me. And just as we're approaching, I'm sorry, we're already in the month of February. We've already passed 31 days in January, right? And just the questions that I receive via email, via text message, or just in simple conversation, sometimes I'm just taken back by the lack of knowledge that we have or what we consider of importance. And Shar, I promise not to.
Well, that's why we have professionals like you.
I promise not to talk that much about
Mm.
your 3-letter people,
Mm.
but I just wanted to know, and I said that I was gonna start my segment with like an icebreaker. And one of those icebreakers are, and I know that it's a force of habit, like when you walk into a business or you're sitting down and you're talking to a professional, the one thing you're gonna say is, "Are you busy?" It's like, that's the obvious, right? So why ask the obvious? There's no way that I would go into McDonald's and everything is $1 and say, "Are you guys busy?" Like, it's the obvious. So this is tax time, right? So again, all of your preparers, your accountants, your people that sit at home that just do it. Yes, this is a busy season for us.
I feel picked on because I think I asked you, are you busy?
No,
I feel like
me.
I want to just do that now.
Yeah, I'm going to say,
Just
yeah.
to get under
Shavonna,
your
are you
skin.
busy?
No, and you know what? And when people ask me that, like I had a young lady ask me today, "Oh my God, are you guys busy?" And I was like, "No, I'm just sitting here twirling my thumbs. It is 16 people right here, but I promise you I'm not busy." And she just looked at me like,
Shavonna, are you stressed? Because that's normally not your temperament.
"No, I'm not stressed. It's just that when it's the obvious, I'm not gonna ask that question."
Well, Shavonna, there's all type of people, and trust me, in my profession, I see all type of people from
I do
A
too.
to Z on the spectrum. No, you don't see the ones I see.
And you don't see the ones I see.
Well, at least they're not criminals. So
You don't know that.
no, they're
You
not.
don't know that.
I'd
You
like
don't
to
know
say
their
I see
history.
both of your guys'
No,
music industry.
But right, but I mean, but overall, sometimes it's nice, and I don't mind sitting there joking with people. I don't mind making you feel comfortable. I don't mind giving you the knowledge that you need. But it's like when you come in and you see 6 cell phones ringing, you see a business phone ringing, you see 17 people sitting in the lobby. I'm getting rid of one person, and you come in and say, "Well, oh, are you busy?" What do you want me to say? Like, what do you want me to do?
Listeners,
supposed to say-
listeners,
Right,
do not ask tax preparers if they're busy
Right.
until April 15th.
Right. And even still, some of us are still busy. And again, that I'm glad you brought that up. It's a misperception when you have people in my profession, they think that taxes is just January through April. Absolutely not. I do taxes 365 days a year, because you have to account for those
But-
people who, let me finish.
Mhm.
You have to account for those people that are put on an extension. You have to account for those people who have their documents, and those documents are wrong when you have someone in my profession that's sitting down, going over your documents, bringing stuff to your attention. And if it's wrong, I'm going to tell you to contact your payroll or human resource department to get this fixed. So that's something else that you're going to have to wait on. And you have to account for those people who are just procrastinators. Well, and then you also have to account for those people who says, well, the IRS says I have 3 years to file. So, well, I didn't make no money this year, so I'm not going to file. I'm going to wait till next year. So I account for all those people. And then the other section of people that you have to account for is, I was sitting there and I was talking to my cousin and I didn't want to do the right thing. And I just went and I let her did it. And now I think I'm in trouble. So now we have to fix that. So that's where I come in at when it comes to that. So I don't just do taxes January through April. In my office right now, I actually have a client I'm working with, just received a letter, thought she was in compliance. She needs tax returns done from 2010 up until now on both business and personal side. So, I mean, you just never know what you're going to walk into. And that's what separates my entity from a lot of entities, because we don't just do one thing. We don't just focus on one thing. And we like to educate people. We like to give that information that's needed, and we want to make you aware, which brings me into some of the questions. And I would like for my host to join me in answering some of these questions. Listeners, I know you're out there. Give us a call at 708-223-8953.
I don't trust that smile.
Listen,
I don't trust that smile.
I'm not getting roped into this. And I want to see those questions. I want to preview those questions.
She didn't smile at us until she said that. I'm
That.
nervous.
And also, did you notice she told us that she was going to be available to hang out and do certain things after April 15th? Now her disclosure is she's busy all year long.
I am busy all year long.
That's her telling us she's not going to be bothered with us.
No, I did not say that. Here's the thing. That's that misconception you have. You make time for who and what is important to you. So even though I may work 6-7 days a week, I live off a calendar. So if I have something on my calendar, and Lexi, you shaking your head because I know you live off a calendar as well.
No, you and your 4 calendars. I have
Lord.
like 2.
Yeah, I do have 4 calendars because I'm pulled in so many different directions. I just need to make sure this is the right direction I'm in.
We got to schedule our hangout and add an invite
6 months.
to the calendar.
Right.
That's
ahead
right.
of time.
And that's right. And that's me.
We got it.
That's me. That's me.
We understand.
If you want me, that's
And
me.
we do understand also businesses like mine. Some of us, we do file quarterly. So I do understand that aspect as well, Shavana. I think more so I think the tension and the stress level is just a little bit more elevated for tax preparers. So those questions like, are you busy? Obviously during January through April, just don't ask.
I think it's an icebreaker, because now I need your help and it's bad, or I want my money back right now. So are you busy?
It's
almost like,
and that's the thing. So why is it of urgency to you now when it was not of urgency to you before?
Lexi can attest to this. You can be knee deep in 2 things, 5 things, and the kids will come in and say, are you busy? I don't know what that is. Do you get that? You can be on the phone. I could be typing and reading at the same time, and they'll come and say, are you busy, before they ask me a question.
Well, you could be on your deathbed and can I have a snack?
Yes.
So-
Or in the restaurant.
By the way, I have volleyball practice at 4.
Right.
Now 3:50.
and I get those, like, I really seriously get those questions. And I can honestly say, in my profession, I know that it can be challenging. It can be difficult. Sometimes it can be a tad bit overwhelming, but when you have a passion and a love for what you do, you consolidate all that and you make time and you make room for it, because you want to have that weight lifted. There's nothing that pleases me more than a client saying, Shavana, here go my stuff. Girl, I feel so good. I ain't got to think about it no more. Wait, what do you mean? Well, you got it. So I don't even care what happens now, because you got it. It's out of my hands.
So when I said that to her back in November, she was like, no,
Right.
you got to come to a consultation.
But they did do consultations. They did.
I don't have time for a consultation. I
Then
need
you
3
don't
of
have
me.
time for anointed accounting.
No, see, that's the problem. You got to.
No, you're the problem.
Would you tell this lady?
You're the
I
problem.
work like 5 jobs,
And I work 6.
and I got 3 kids,
And I got 7.
Plus
with
the
a
ex-
dog, a
plus
cat,
the
a turtle, and a
ex-husband.
goldfish.
Y'all need assistance. If anybody is looking for an assistant job, my two co-hosts here are dire need.
So I want to say, I want to ask, where is our sense of urgency and the ability to prioritize when it comes to paying our major bills late, especially the cell phone? How does that constant presence of social media impact our financial decision making priorities? And let me tell you why I asked that question.
I'm confused. You got to break it down for me.
I'm about to. That's what I'm here for. My lovely Char Unlocked. So this is tax season. Everybody knows that.
Right.
And so many people call, and the calls that I get, why didn't I get the full amount of child tax credit? Why didn't I get the full amount of earned income credit? And as nice as possible, I asked, did you read what it says? You have 2 words within that sentence that says you can get up to that amount, not that exact amount.
Do you explain that when they're sitting there?
I explain. I talk to you like you're a 2-year-old because I want you to understand.
I think you have to when you break down the IRS and tax code and tax rules. And I will say that because I did get a letter from the IRS in regards to my business taxes and the way it was written. And I read and comprehend very well. The way it was written confused me enough to the point where I thought I didn't have to do anything because of how it was written. And then when I called and had a conversation with the IRS, they said, I don't know why they wrote it that way because it is so confusing and it confuses so many people. So to an extent, I'm grateful that you do at least explain that and we don't have to go through the whole conversation with the IRS and call them. So as long as the clients are educated prior, I think that's great.
So
yes,
it's Lexi that's going to roll with that acronym this week.
Yes, it's indeed that. I again, education. If I educate you, you're helping me with your situation because I'm not sitting there guessing. I'm not sitting there wondering. I'm not sitting there trying to figure out and put a puzzle together when all the pieces aren't there. So I do want to sit and talk to you. And that's what I want to talk to my people about today. If you're listening, my people, please understand that when you go to get any business conducted, your name, your social, your EIN number, your address, all of that is important. That is a part of you. If you do not make that important, then what are you here for? Why are you even doing it? We are so wrapped up and involved in, when am I going to get my refund? How much do I owe? Why do I owe this? But you're not concerned about those questions when you initially sit down with the person that you sat down with. I'm a firm believer in interviewing people. I will ask you, and Lexi, I want you to chime in on this. I will ask you the same question 150 times to make sure I get it right. And I only say that because, as everyone knows, Lexi is going to start doing anointed and appointed social media. And I had a business meeting with her. Not just me, but me and my business project manager. We had a business meeting with her, and I asked her question after question after question because not only did I want that clarity, but I wanted that understanding. And I don't know if this was just her demeanor or if it's just because it's me, but she was so patient. She was so diligent. She broke down everything to piece by piece, crumb by crumb. Then she followed up with a text message. Shavana, do you got any other questions? Did I explain it? As a matter of fact, I think that following Saturday, you asked me, was I okay? Did I have any more questions?
Shavana, that was because we had company on the phone. I really wanted to tell you all of this stuff is on my website. Did you not read it? But I love
did.
you, so it's
but
fine.
I can read. But again, if it's not making that connection, I want to talk to who I'm giving my money to.
And that's the same that we go through when we get those IRS letters. Because can they write it a little bit more simple?
And that's where we come in at. You come and you talk to us, and I say this to my people out there, it's tax time. And I know everybody is concerned about child tax credit, earned income credit. If you're in school, you're worried about the American Opportunity Credit, the lifetime credit. The only thing that I see people really involving themselves in and making it important is if it's a refund. The past 2 weeks, I have been getting angry phone calls. Oh my God, they've levied my account. It's a levy on my house. They sent my job a garnishment. Shavonna, why did they do that? Nobody told me anything. And my first question is, well, how long did you know about this? Well, I got the letter some time ago. Well, why didn't you call me when you had the letter? Man, I had other stuff going on. So when was it important?
So I am bracing for these questions. let's get
My
to the
hair is
questions.
tight.
Right. I'm like,
don't know
come
if I'm
on,
ready
girl.
for
Let's get
this.
to the questions because it's just looming. I'm like, I'm
No,
peeking over there. I
and-
really can't see much. I
and-
can't see.
And I'm getting to that. And my overall point that I want to make to not just people that are listening, but even to us sitting here, when you drop
No shade.
when you sit and drop off your documents to your preparer, that's time for a conversation. If anyone is preparing your tax return and they can't answer your question, you need to take your documents and go somewhere else. If you cannot contact your preparer throughout the entire year, you need to take your document somewhere else. Because just because you filed a tax return, that doesn't mean it's over April 15th. Because you can get a letter after April 15th.
No, my accountant, he's patient with me. He has the heart of God because
I believe he has to.
he has to deal with me. So yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So
And I'm very patient, and I think I'm more so loyal. Like I didn't birth any children, but all of my clients are my children because I hold their hand. I actually had one of my clients say to me, Shavonna, I had the consultation. Lachey was great, but gee, I don't know where this stuff is at. What you want me to do? Okay, well, let's do it like this. I want you to sit down at your computer. I want you to log into your work portal, download your W-2, save it as a PDF, and email it to me. Okay, yeah, I did that. What else I need?
what else you need to do is give us those questions. I
If
got anxiety.
You don't stop rushing me,
You-
lady.
And let me
This
tell
is
you,
my
this is
segment.
almost like a whooping. You tell your kids when I get finished, I'm gonna whoop you. And there you wash the dishes, you put the food up, you feed them, and they still looking at you sideways.
You
This
ready
is
for
how I
that
feel about
whooping?
Shavonna.
Okay, so Shar, for you, I'm gonna start with you.
See, she gonna start with me.
Yeah, cause you started because you didn't want to wait. You see how Lexi is patiently waiting.
She's.
I'm not gonna bother you, Lexi. You're off the hook.
Do you notice Lexi's not saying anything?
But she's
because-
patient too.
No, she's just quiet because she got the same anxiety.
She does not. At what point do we consider our personal information relevant? And why does it take something serious to capture our attention? And I say that because I had a client call me and say, Shavonna, I think I have to file bankruptcy because I have debt with the IRS and I'm just scared that they're going to take everything. And so my question to them was, how long have you been knowing about the debt? Oh, since you did my taxes. Did you take any of the information I gave you and do what you were supposed to? No, because I thought they was going to forget about me. They got a whole bunch of other people to worry about.
Well, that's a concept.
No, you're in that pool. So, and what I found out, and the reason I asked that question, what I found out is that it's not important and it doesn't hold any urgency until I get your attention and put my hands on something that's important to you, like your house, your car, your bank account, your check from your job. When your job or your HR department gets a garnishment letter, they're contacting you. And that's a big embarrassment to a lot of people. So with that being an embarrassment, now it's important. why does it take for it to get to that point before you make it important? Because that tells me that I don't care about my name. I don't care about my social. I don't care what's going on. I just want the work to be done.
Well, I spoke with a client a few weeks ago, and she needed some credit repair yet again. No judgment, but a lot of times people are life be lifing. A lot of times people are dealing with so much. I was trying to tell her that, listen, we shouldn't. This isn't like a diet where we revisit this regularly. Once it's your credit is good and you're trying to purchase, let's stay down that road. But when she broke down everything in her life that she was dealing with at one time, I understood. Sometimes takes precedence, especially if you have children that are going through. Parents take the brunt of their children's problems. And when she broke down, I wanted to tell her, listen, don't worry about it. I'll pay for the credit repair for you.
And I've had those same clients. I've had clients that have came to me that have told me, Shavonna, look, I'm about to lose my house. I done lost my husband. My son has just gotten incarcerated for a charge that's not even for him. I done lost my job. I don't even know how I'm going to eat tomorrow. So don't get me wrong. I understand life be life. And
Life be life.
I've went through some things. But again, I also understand that when it comes time for something that's important, I'm going to make time for that.
Shavonna, being in the profession that I'm in, I'm noticing that everybody's not equipped to handle, facilitate, or process things the way we're blessed that we can. We're fortunate. And some people didn't even have parents to teach them to the way to process things. And you could have and in addition to that, you can have 3 kids in the same house eating the same food, doing the same thing, raised by the same parents, and they all have different weaknesses or different issues. So I don't take that for granted. I just noticed that we all life be life and we all have different things and different ways. We all have strengths and weaknesses. And what's important to them or what's going on in their life and how their ability to process and facilitate and maneuver through it isn't where you and I are.
So let me address that. If it's like that, then you reach out to me and you talk to me. Don't wait until it's out of hand and now you come to me and you want an instantaneous result because now you haven't given me the time to work. I have one client and I really, really love this client. Like she's like awesome sauce. She calls me for everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. Let me finish. And then I have another client that'll tell me, look, Shavonna, if you don't call me, I'm not going to think about this. I don't care about taxes. I don't care about paying taxes. I got so much other stuff going on. And so I appreciate my role in their lives because of everything that they got going on. So not only do I have to take on what I have going on, but I take on what my clients have going on because I want them to be okay. So dealing with my company, and I guess that's what separates me from a lot of entities, reach out. That's what Anointed Accounting is there for. And I also found out within the past couple of weeks, just talking to people, people don't reach out to accounting companies or accountants because they feel like they don't need the service because they don't make 6 figures, because they're not a Fortune 500 company. I was marketing and I actually had a young man tell me, well, I'm only a cashier at the gas station and I work at Sam's Club on the weekend. So why would I need an accountant? I can't afford y'all. I don't make that type of money. And my question to him was, show me where it's written that you need to make 6 figures to have an accounting firm back you up.
Well,
Show me
Shavonna,
that.
that sounds like a marketing issue for you. That's an avenue for you. to inform.
And
That's
that's what we do at Anointed Accounting. We educate and inform.
Now, when I say marketing, like there's an avenue, a commercial, there's marketing, there's flyers, there's reels where you can go after potential clients that think that they need to earn 6 figures or 7 figures in order to afford an accountant.
And you're right about that. And guess who's going to start doing that marketing? CEO Lexi Couture. You
CEO
see?
Lexi.
You see?
And you know, one thing I do want to say, Shavana, in business, we have to always treat our clients at the level that they're at. And
Yes, we have to
and what
meet
I
them
do
where
with
they are.
couture, that's how I am, because a lot of my clients, you know, in music, and I've spoken on this, is that they could be just starting off in music, or they could have been in the industry for 20 years. The person that can be in the industry for 20 plus years might not even know anything, but they might have discography, they might have, you know, all these other things that are amazing. And then the person that comes in, you literally have to treat everybody at whatever the level that they're at. So I think regardless of, we still have to have that compassion and that compromise with our clients, because I'll tell you the truth, personally, when I started my company, I had my identity stolen. And in the midst of everything that I have going on in my life, and it was right in the middle of the pandemic, I had my identity stolen. So my credit was great. And then it went
Downhill.
and I had to prove that I
Fight.
was who I am.
Yes.
And I had somebody in a whole nother state getting all these different things in my name and bills, and I'm still dealing with that.
And again, that's why it's so important to know what your name and your social is attached to. That's just like I was working with a new client at work, and I told the client, I said, look, I'm going to send you your documents digitally, but I'm also going to give you a hard copy. We're going to go over your tax return. And he looked at me and said, go over it for what? I don't owe, so I don't care. No, you do care, because your name is attached to this. Your social is attached to this. You get a refund now. What happens next year if you don't get one?
Well, perhaps he was just thinking, I don't have to go over it. I can read it on my own, because I really didn't know.
But how many people do you know how to read a 1040? If I showed you a 1040,
I know
could
how
you
to read it
to me?
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's because you care.
No, that's because
Or that's because you're sharp. Let me change that. You're
no, that's
sharp.
because I've done it for a living since I was 21, 22. I worked at a bank. I was a loan officer.
But you're one in a million that can say, look, I don't need you to explain it to me, because I know what's sitting there. And if by any chance I get a letter from either the federal or state entity, I'm going to know how to address that letter, because I know what sits here. You're one in a million that knows that.
Shavana is like Big Mama. She don't play no game. She whipping those clients in the shape.
I do, because I care. I have a passion about.
I get it.
Let me finish. I have a passion about, again, my clients are not just my clients. My clients are my family. It's nothing like, I have clients that'll call me and say, hey, Shavana, I just wanted to hear your voice. Or, hey, Shavana, let's go out for cocktails.
I get it. I'm just with me being a mom and having the same sex, and they're 3 different entities. They're so different, and that's what gives me patience for other people, because I see, the differences. I'm like, well, I fed them all the same thing.
I think it was my mom's prayer that gave me patience, because my mom used to always tell me, girl, I'm gonna pray for you to have the patience of Job. And I used to tell her, I do. When it comes to my clients, I do.
Girl, you just ripped them a new butt on here.
I did not know. I'm educating my people, because I want my people to know. I don't want them to walk away not knowing. No client of mine can ever come and tell you, Shavana didn't tell me that. Shavana did not explain that to me. Now, what they can tell you, like our first show, when Brian said, oh, she's going to tell you. You may not want to take it, but she's not going to sugarcoat it. She's going to tell you what you need to know, why you need to know it, and it's going to be left up to you to do what you're supposed to do
So-
with the information.
You're more intense than my guy, and he's a CPA, my tax guy.
Well, see, that's
Ooh.
another thing that I've also realized in this field that I'm in. Individuals get so wrapped up on credentials and titles. I tell people that first come do a consultation with me. Look, I'm a forensic public accountant. I'm not a CPA, nor do I want to be a CPA. I don't need that. What I have is experience. What I can do for you is this. And then I like that I have those people who take their information seriously and say, well, why did you go into this? How do you think you can help me? What has been the most challenging client that you've had? What has been the most difficult situation that you've been put in with a client and they walked away satisfied? See, those are the people that I love to pour into because they need that help. They want that help. I also have those people that come to me and say, I know I've been doing my taxes wrong all year, but I also been getting. I realized that if I want it done right, I'm gonna have to spend a little bit. Said, don't come to us because we're good, and that's why I want accounting. You're going to get everything plus more than what you need or bargain for when you walk up out of that office. You're going to have everything. And we're going to sit down and talk about it, not just one time, but continuously, because we have a relationship. I have your credentials. I have your personal information. I would think that you want to have a relationship with me because I know I want one with you. When I call the light company, I want to know your name, the days you got off. Can we go hang out? Because you got my information. For this 10 minutes, we're going to be on the phone. I need that relationship with you because it's important to me.
Not
And
the light company.
Girl, no,
They
don't
got
take
my-
this
I was
money
thinking
and
the
leave me alone
same
till
thing.
next
The
month.
light company,
listen,
the customer service
they
rep.
got my information at the click of a button. They can hit a switch and I'm sitting in the dark. No, I'm going to establish that relationship. And I think that's another misconception when it comes to, like, Shar, I always hear you say my CPA or my tax guy. Like, to me, it should be more than that. Like, my clients don't say my
Well,
tax
I'm on the
lady.
radio and I don't want to say his name because that's none of everybody's business. So I
So
call
that's
him
why
by
you
his name.
use it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Yeah.
my clients, when and I've had referrals that, matter of fact, I just had a referral a week ago. Hey, Shavonna, how are you? And, hey, how you doing? I don't know who I'm talking to. And it was like, well, oh, somebody referred me to you. Who referred you, honey? And they told me who referred them. And I was like, you sound so excited after we had our consultation. And I'm like, you have 59 issues, yet you sound so excited. Well, oh, they told me you were good at this and you're gonna fix it. So I gotta be excited. And I just love that because that means someone is out there spreading the word about Anointed County and the staff that we have, and us being a one-stop shop and you being able to talk to us.
If you know anything about me, when I say my friends, my guy, my children, that's ownership, that's possession for me. That's
Okay.
that Sagittarian.
So that my word is territorial.
Yeah. So that's that's me being a Sagittarius. So he's been with me for years. I wholeheartedly trust him. You heard what I said. He tolerates me on a different spectrum. He deserves an award and a hug. He tolerates me randomly call him when I wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning or texting him what I need because I forgot or I need it for my kid's school, or he's like, I sent you the documents. I'm like, send it again. So he's special. So when I
Because
say
you're special.
indeed, amazingly special. So when I say my CPA, my tax guy, he's not just a tax guy. He's my tax guy, my CPA.
Yours and yours only.
That
And
part.
and I love that because I've had gatherings where I've invited my clients to, and back in the day when me and my brother used to argue, well, he used to win all the arguments because he's older. And even me and Benita would talk, and me and my other sister would talk, and I would always say my sister, and you know, Bonita would tell me, or my brother would say, well, that's both of our moms. No, she my mama.
So I do that. I'm the oldest, right? So I do that with my mom. I'll say my mother. When I call my sister, I'll say my mother. When I call my brother, I'll say my mom. She's my mother.
Right. So I get the ownership of it because I know that I'm very territorial.
And I took the top portion of her because we split her up when we were kids. So she's my mother. The mouth. We split her up. So you guys give us a call, 708-223-8953. Shavonna can answer all of your tax questions. She'll take it easy on you. She'll
I will. You know, it's just that I want to not only establish these relationships and make sure people understand the importance and the relevance of building that relationship. I don't want to make you an expert. That's not my job. My job is to inform you what's attached to your social, what's attached to your name, why it's important for you to know what's there. Why is it important? Like I had a client ask me, Shavonna, you told me to establish an IRS account. I don't understand why. I'm not going to check it. Well, it's relevant. Let's just assume last year you want to come in, you want to file your taxes. You don't want to wait because you think you've got all the information. And as Shar, you mentioned, life be life. And you had 2 other jobs. Now you done filed your taxes. Now you got to come back and get an amended return because you didn't wait.
Ooh, Shavonna, woosah. I think she just overwhelmed. They done got on her last nerves.
No,
I think Shavonna
no.
came here to just
Listen,
let it
to
loose.
let it out.
No,
Listen, Shavonna.
that is not the case.
Shavonna loves her clients.
I know I am
passionate.
in love with my clients and I get on them like a parent would get on their child.
Yeah, but you have to also, when you're getting on your children, you have to also do it with a loving and a wise
I do
hand
it. I do it with a loving and a wise hand. And then you also, like, you may have a hard head child, which was me. You couldn't tell me that the fire is hot. I had to touch it for myself to see if it was hot. That's me.
That's the cancer.
No, that's just Shavonna.
That's the cancer.
That's Shavonna. No, I'm sorry. That's not Shavonna. That's Motika. But anyway,
Who's what?
That's my
We're gonna
middle
introduce our new guest to the
name.
show.
We have another co-host,
That's
Motika.
that's my middle name. But no, I just believe in pouring out all this information. And you know, Shar, you and I were talking back and forth, like going through text messages when it came to giving CEO Lexi her flowers while she's here. And like I was so appreciative, even though we had a guest on the phone, you took that time, you broke it down, you pointed out different sections that I needed to go back and revisit. You explained what this was, even though it was there and I was able to read it, just that breakdown. I had a level of comfort. And then when I go out and I talk about the show, or I talk about what I do, or I talk about my co-host, I'm always bragging about, listen, you want advertisement, go to CEO Lexi. Listen, you want concealed and training, holla at Shar. Shar got you. You want a house? I'm going to Crystal. I think you need to go to Crystal too.
Well,
And
Crystal can't give you a loan though. She's just gonna find your house. Where you gonna get the money?
but when you have them in concealed and carry, I know you're gonna talk about that because I ain't worried about you.
No, I'm
You're
saying
gonna talk about the dating platform. You're gonna talk about Shar
where
a lot.
where are they gonna get this money?
They're gonna get it from you.
Right. They need financing.
Right. So when they come to you for concealed and carry, you're gonna talk about all that. Because if you refer me to somebody, I can almost put $100 on. You're gonna say, my co-host that loves the 3-letter people.
Baby.
I don't know what she doing. Just call Shavonna.
The
Am I
people
right?
in my office know about you. And them people.
I am so afraid to
But
know
yeah,
what
you
your
can
people know.
you can definitely contact Shar for all your loan needs to get that new home and conceal and carry. I think that's what we were getting at with that.
Yeah, and intentional dating. We're not gonna forget about that.
Absolutely.
Yes, I got sick, so I had to push it back. I'm so passionate about that. I think everybody needs love and marriage and long-term commitment. Everyone that wants that should have it.
Yes, just like everyone should want the same when it comes to their finances. Like, don't wait until it's too late. Reach out, contact someone. Again, if you cannot talk to your preparer about anything at any time, Shar, you mentioned calling at 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
I didn't call, I text.
Text, call.
But his wife kind of knows that I'm a special one, so
Right.
she disregards my nonsense.
Right. And I get that because I get those phone calls 3 o'clock in the morning. Shavonna, I can't sleep. I got this on my mind.
Oh no, I'm not calling. I'm texting, so that I put it in there
See,
and I get it all out. and
no,
then I go
my
back to
my
sleep.
clients don't text. They're calling. And if I switched year 4 last from using my personal to my business line. So you call the business line, but my clients, and they act right, they'll call the business line. When I don't answer the business line, you must understand that my personal line is going to be ringing. When I do not answer that personal line, they're ringing my doorbell. Doesn't matter what time. Doesn't
Ringing
matter
the
what time.
doorbell?
Ringing the
Oh,
doorbell
no.
because they have questions. But I've left that segue open for them to do so because that's what anointed accounting is there for.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you do have that relationship with your clients, so that's definitely understandable. I am always on do not disturb. I have a very select few people that can get through my do not disturb, and it's because I don't like to be disturbed.
And that's boundaries and respect.
We can email me. Like everything I prefer, because even with you guys, like when if it's not on my email, then I don't feel like I've taken so much stuff off my phone. So if I'm not actually sitting at my desk, then I'm not working.
I get it.
Because I would be working in bed. I would be I had my phone and I was always doing something, and it can get chaotic. But
Yep.
that's some changes I made this year as far as like my organization and like battling with my
Lexi, you taught
ADHD.
me some organization. I have my stuff
I
organized
see them
about the
posties.
announcements I need to make.
Let's
So,
go.
kudos. Let's see. Join us for our customer appreciation bowling party March 28th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 710 Social in Hyde Park. And that comes from Nicole Murky. From Nikki's Beauty and Fitness Bar. She's going to be on our show when I think is it the 22nd?
You know what? I left my calendar.
So she just said if she was not at her desk, she's not working.
It's in there. Trust me, I know her. She's in there. It's in there.
You know
Also,
what?
Sassy Thrifters on March 8th at 9 a.m. The bus is leaving from Amore Salon at 648 East 43rd Street. They're going to do a bus where there's prizes, mimosas, and they're going to all the thrift shops. You need to contact her, Tamika Grant, at 612-910-3785 or www.sassythrifters.com. And last but not least, Vital at vital773.com. Their stuff's going to be in the silver room. They're dropping VCG Polarity on, these are gym shoes of some sort, and they're inspired to represent the city blue line. So Vital is Visionaries in the Arts and Life. They're dropping on February the 7th of 2025. So they're on IG, Vital773, or just go to their website, Vital, VITAL 773.com.
That's exciting. We need a pair of shoes, Vital 773. I like shoes.
I have a bag that they have, and it's pretty dope. I think I'm going to start carrying it.
That's interesting.
I got some events, but I know Shavonna has something to wrap up her segment. So let's look at her, because I do got a couple of events I got to promote.
I think I done made everyone tense today. That was really not my intention. But I guess I want to say to our listeners, I'm not fussing. I want you all to just be more intentional about your personal information. Be just as intentional about getting on social media, seeing what the latest gossip is. Be just that intentional when it comes to your personal information. And if you feel overwhelmed, or as Shar said, life be life, and you just don't have that time, you just don't want to deal with it, contact Anointed Accounting. We're going to take that off your hands. That's what we're there for. You don't want to wait till the last minute. You don't want that garnishment. You don't want that levy. You don't want to file bankruptcy. Contact us
instead of not opening the letters
and putting it to the side. Or God forbid, if you do read the letter and they give you a grace period and you put it to the corner and say you're going to go back to it.
But if you have the letters, because it's been me, I told you I was early in my 20s. It's been me. If you have the letters, contact Anointing Accounting with the letters, because sometimes there's a fear. People have fear of guns, fear of going to jail, fear of the IRS. There's a healthy fear there. So if you have the fear, grab those letters and maybe you can open them and go through them and then guide them and tell them what they need.
And even if you don't have the letters, that's why it's important to have that IRS account, because we can log into that account and we can pull those letters.
There it is. And I do want to say a big shout out and love to my people over here on my live. Tia Songbird chimed in and said, "Oh, snap, she's a Cancer. Breathe, baby, breathe." Because the month is up in the cosmos.
Exactly.
And Tia Songbird actually will be joining us this month as well. It's very
Cancers
exciting.
are so full of love. They're full of passion and emotion.
I love Cancer women, not a Cancer man.
Um,
But I do got a couple of events that I want to talk about. Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th, a reminder of the Love and Lust Vibe 2. That's from 7 p.m. to midnight at the Atlantic Bar and Grill. That's located at 5062 North Lincoln Avenue. That is brought to you by Melly P's Playground, BB Trinette Entertainment, and of course, The Blizz Effect. And you know Shy Blizz, the crown holder, will be on the
Shy
ones and
Blizz.
twos.
gotta love Shy Blizz.
And then I don't think that's the following Friday, but Friday, February 28th, Taco and the New Era Band will be performing live at his Dedicated to Mama concert. That doors open at 8 p.m. That will be at Reggie's, 2105 South State Street in Chicago. Tickets are available at www.tacomusicofficial.com. And that following day, Saturday, March 1st, Taco will be visiting us to give us all.
Is he gonna bring some tacos? Because I want to place my order now.
That's just
he's
his
not
name.
He's not a restaurant.
You don't know
might-
unless you
He might,
ask.
you know, you gotta ask, but he will be fresh off his show, and he's,
That's a question
exciting.
I want to ask. Where'd you get taco?
That's
from
a
his
great
name?
question. We're gonna find out on March 1st. And also every Monday, you guys already know the grocery giveaways over at the Orchestration Institute, 4757 West Lake Street in Chicago. That is brought to you by the Hocho Family Assistance Program, as well as Divinely Orchestrated, every Monday, 5 p.m., 4757 West Lake Street in Chicago. And
Eggs are $10. What are they giving away? I need to be there.
if they're giving away, I haven't asked if they're giving away eggs, because honestly, that's going to be my gripe forever.
Yeah, eggs are $10. I need to be over there. Is there a line? How does it work?
I saw that and I thought that I was literally going blind at that point. I thought something was wrong with my glasses. Like, I think I was in this. As a matter of fact, I was standing in Pete's and I was literally standing there crying. And, my wife was
And
like,
I thought that it's not really an economic thing. It's actually that
Bird flu.
Bird flu has affected
nothing,
a
yeah.
huge amount of the chickens that they utilize for eggs.
but everything has increased. Everything.
I think you should contact
Mustard has
your
even went up.
local farmers that sell eggs, because there is a multitude of farmers that actually sell eggs as well. So
They still have the farmers market that come in to downtown Chicago too, correct?
But it's normally summer.
yeah, that's
Okay,
they're
so
really
that's-
around like
that's
yeah,
not-
when it's nice out.
Yeah,
Okay.
summer, early
They
fall.
take over the downtown area.
Okay.
But hey, it's your girl CEO Lexi. You can find me on Facebook. Look, I usually close the show out, so let me go ahead and stop because it's so new. Who are
I know
y'all?
this is I had an amazing Saturday with you guys. Shavana, I'm gonna give you a hug. Wait a minute, probably not. I'll give you an air hug because you're intense today, and I
I'm
don't want
so
to
not
transfer
intense.
that energy.
I'm so not intense.
You are intense. Those poor customers better do right next week. Don't be making my co-host upset, coming in here irritated with y'all. Do what you're supposed to do so she stays, because she's normally even keel, right? So next week she's going to be better. They're going to do better, Shavana. I'm encouraged.
To do better, you have to know to do better. So it's called information.
I just think you on work overload, and I think
You ain't seen overload. It ain't even started.
Oh wow! So it's Shar Unlocked. Join me. I have a class, Conceal and Carry. Just yesterday, next door to my employer, two guys decided they wanted to rob a garbage truck the garbage truck driver. Well, shame for them, because he killed one and shot the other one critically, right next door to a facility.
I hope the
That they
hospital was close by.
Well, I don't know. Well, it didn't matter. For one, lights was out. So you need your conceal and carry.
I got mine.
He was a conceal and carry. Where'd you go?
I got mine about 6 years ago.
Well, then you don't have yours anymore because it expires after the 5th year.
I'm sorry. You said, where did I go? You didn't ask me if I got it renewed.
Oh, okay. So anyway, you see this lady here.
I love you,
Where can I find you at, Shar?
Right.
Out of
Exactly.
here, away from Shavana.
Shavana, baby. 844-426-6232. Girl, 844-426-6232. We're on all social media platforms. Our next class is February the 15th and the 16th, 2025. Hopefully you're still on your new year, new me, and you stop procrastinating and get your conceal and carry license, because who would have thought 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, your garbage truck driver and 2 fools want to rob you?
That's sad. We want to pray for those families out there.
What families?
The people that got killed had families. So we want to
the ones that tried to rob the tow truck driver.
You just said one was deceased, right? So somebody is in mourning.
Oh yeah,
Right. So we want to keep those families lifted in prayer.
that part.
Hello, great big world out there. Of course, it's Shavana, your financial femme. I am on all social media platforms under Anointed Accounting. I can be reached at area code 312-837-7219. And you can always visit the website at www.anointedaccounting.com. I look forward to working with you and servicing all of your business, personal, and financial needs.
And it's your girl, CEO Lexi. You can find me on Facebook at Alexis Arce, all social medias at CEO Lexi Couture, and of course at www.couturemusicmgmt.com. We want to thank you for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next week, 3 to 5. It's a Super Business Women show here on Intellectual Radio.
See y'all.
Have a great week, guys. Be safe.
Think of me when you hear love breakup songs? Do you think of me and want to apologize for your wrongs? Do you think of me and real